Welcome to Badminton Unlimited, your weekly access to badminton and beyond. This week, Indonesia's mixed doubles pair Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir relive with us their golden moment in Rio. And we have a heart-to-heart with England's top-ranked singles shuttler, Fontaine Chapman. Badminton has brought Indonesia some of its finest sporting moments, including the country's first-ever Olympic gold medals, courtesy of Alan Budikusuma and Susi Susanti in their singles events back in 1992. Having added 4 more titles since then, the sport continues to be a source of glory for the Southeast Asian nation. And on Indonesia's 71st Independence Day this year, the nation kept the winning tradition alive in badminton when its top mixed tandem Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir delivered the perfect gift at the Rio Olympics.
We felt relieved and honored to fly our red and white flag in Rio on the day of Indonesia's Independence Day. Only now we're feeling the fatigue, because before, we were all tensed up during the competition and couldn't feel the tiredness. But once it was all over, suddenly the body was hurting everywhere. It was hard to believe we're Olympic champions.
We sat down with Indonesia's latest Olympic heroes to relive their memorable journey. After successful campaigns in 2013 and 2014 that saw Tontowi and Liliyana clinch the world title and complete a hat-trick of All England wins, they were expected to go on to greater heights. But it wasn't to be. They suffered a devastating loss of form the next 2 years, mustering only a solitary World Superseries title at this year's Celcom Axiata Malaysia Open. A tough period, but they were determined to take it in their stride.
Our
previous defeats made us learn. Maybe if we had kept winning in 2015, we may not have enjoyed success at the Olympics. We could have gotten tired easily, and mentally, we wouldn't have coped. We kept asking ourselves what was lacking. It was a time for introspection.
It was such a big challenge to win one Super Series title, but we reminded ourselves of our success we've had, like the hat-trick of All England titles and being world champions, so we shouldn't feel small.
The Australian Badminton Open was the world number 8 duo's last competitive outing before going full throttle in their preparations for Rio. And high on the training agenda was to mentally clear off all the weight of previous disappointments.
Let's forget our past results because it would affect us in a bad way. So going into the Olympics, we told ourselves we must start afresh. We aimed at improving all aspects, including seeing psychologists and motivators. Our communication also needed to improve because we felt that this could have been a factor to our poor results. It led to unnecessary anxiety during matches.
Before they knew it, August was upon them, and the Olympics were well underway. With more than a month of intense preparations under their belt, Liliyana and Tontowi began their quest in style, winning all their group matches without dropping a game.
I was more excited than anything else because I knew I had prepared to my maximum, right from my fitness levels to my winning mentality. I was jumping to get started. So when the matches began, I was enjoying myself because I trusted in my preparations for the Olympics.
The Indonesian pair was on fire. Compatriots Praveen Jordan and Debbie Susanto were their first victims in the knockout stages before they went on to face longtime rivals and defending champions China's Zhang Nan and Zhao Yunlei in the semi-finals. The Tontowi and Liliyana combo saw this as the perfect matchup to prove their Olympic credentials.
If we look at our record against them before the Olympics, we've lost almost all the matches, although there were some very close ones. Many were skeptical of our chances against Changnan and Zhao Yunlei. I told Tontowi to not give up, because whatever happened before doesn't matter now. Anything can happen at the Olympics.
Apapun itu bisa terjadi, ini Olimpiade.
Liliyana and Tontowi silenced their doubters, putting their Chinese opponents away clinically in straight games. Then, they needed to overcome the challenge of Malaysians Chan Peng Soon and Goh Lu Ying in the final. Nerves started to set in, and the composure they had displayed throughout their Olympic campaign threatened to escape them.
Saya sampai teriak-teriak sendiri nih. Saya jalan dari village itu.
I would scream at random times. From the village to the hall, I would talk to her about random things repeatedly. I needed to let it all out. I didn't want to get too nervous. I was afraid it would affect my game, so I was hoping the screaming would help at the time.
Saya teriak sana, teriak sini gitu aja sih pada waktu itu.
But as soon as they got on court, the Indonesians were back in control. Grabbing the first game and on the brink of nailing the second, Tontowi and Liliyana knew they were about to enter sporting immortality.
Saya tuh udah 19 dia mati.
We were on 19, and when they lost another point, we moved up to 2012. I was jumping, but she kept telling me, it's not over yet. It's giving me goosebumps just talking about it.
Ini sampai sekarang juga masih keinget gitu loh.
Saya nggak mau terlalu berlarut.
I didn't want to get carried away because we hadn't reached 21 points. We just needed to get there first, and then we could do whatever we want. We just need to focus on getting to 21.
Fokus sampai game 21.
They captured the championship point, and Indonesia won its first ever mixed doubles Olympic gold.
Yang pasti terharu ya. Saya sampai kalau saya mengingat sampai sekarang pun saya masih.
I feel so proud. Thinking about it makes me want to cry. All my sacrifices, the pressure, and expectations from everybody was incredible. So to stand highest on that podium, I knew I overcame it all. I was able to make my family and Indonesia proud.
Gitu sih. Dan saya bisa membanggakan keluarga saya sih, yang pasti, dan Indonesia.
Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir's Olympic adventure is a riveting one. And it'll be a tale that will be told over and over in Indonesia for generations to come. Time to test your badminton knowledge. In this week's trivia, we want you to name the youngest ever BWF World Junior Champion. We'll give you the answer after the break. When we return, we find out more about the aspirations of England's top women's singles player, Fontaine Chapman. With digital innovations, shuttle time is now more fun, engaging, and accessible than ever. So get connected with the Badminton Schools program. Find out more about BWF's grassroots program on these platforms. Download the app, visit the website, and get active on Facebook. Your gateway to shuttle time has never been so easy. Before the break, we asked you to name the youngest ever BWF World Junior Champion. The answer is Ratchanok Intanon. The Thai shuttler graced the history books when she became the youngest ever BWF World Junior Champion after winning the women's singles crown in 2009 at the young age of 14. 4 years later, the Thai achieved another milestone by becoming the youngest singles world champion after her triumph over then Olympic champion Lee Shui-rui. Ratchanok is also the only singles player to win 3 World Superseries titles in 3 consecutive weeks. She accomplished the feat earlier in the year, grabbing victories in India, Malaysia, and Singapore. England has contributed significantly to the birth and development of modern badminton. Following the spread of the sport to Northern Europe and Asia, the pioneering nation of badminton was overshadowed, largely by the dominance of Asian players. In recent times, doubles pairs have brought success for the kingdom. Simon Archer and Joanne Good brought home Great Britain's first Olympic medal in badminton when they won bronze at the Sydney 2000 Games. Nathan Robertson and Gail Ems followed up with silver 4 years later in Athens. More recently, Marcus Ellis and Chris Langridge clinched the men's doubles bronze at the Rio Olympics. But there's still a long way to go in the singles category, and Fontaine Chapman, England's top-ranked female shuttler, is determined to change that reputation.
I always try and motivate myself just through looking at other players and targeting other players. Obviously being number one in England is great, but I would like to be, top in Europe and top in the world. I don't necessarily just want to rest on being the best in England. So, there's always other players out there that are better than you.
Resilience and drive are not in short supply for this 26-year-old. Having started playing badminton at the age of 6, Chapman became part of the England junior team at 12. But it would be a while before she made the senior side. Battling a series of injuries, not only did it hamper her progress, she also found herself without funding.
It all pretty much started when I was 18 and I ruptured my ACL in my right knee. So I've got 2 pins and a plate in my knee. So my mum likes to say I've got a bionic knee now. I also fractured my left foot and prolapsed a disc in my back. So it's been tough. It's been quite a long road back to recovery because they were one after another for 3-4 years. I was just felt like I was in constant rehab, and it was really tough to get through that. But actually, looking at other players and looking at other athletes, across different sports has helped me get back. But also my determination of not wanting to give up or to not actually achieve my goal that I've had for a long time kept me going.
Since her return to the national team in 2014, the ambitious shuttler has been making steady progress. Chapman was part of the English team that reached the quarter-finals of the Uber Cup for the first time in 30 years. The English number 1 followed that up with her debut at the 2014 BWF World Championships in Denmark, where she turned in a creditable performance against the then Commonwealth Games champion, Michelle Lee.
There's definitely some positives taken away from losing to Michelle Lee, and that first set being 28-26 was really close, really frustrating, but I can take a lot from that. I knew that I had chances, but then looking back at the match, she was actually really solid. Those points that I was taking the lead and I was putting pressure on, she played really well, and that's what makes her the top player that she is. But for me, it was something that I could build on, and being the first World Championships, knowing that I could perform on that big stage was really important and really encouraging.
Bolstered by her strong performance against Lee, Chapman made her mark on the international stage later that year when she stepped on top of the winner's podium at the Hungarian International.
Winning that first international title in Hungary was amazing. Sometimes you think it's never going to happen, and you kind of wonder, am I good enough to do it? Am I not? Am I setting my standards too high? But yeah, it meant a lot, and I was really proud to stand on that first place position.
Chapman continued on her upward trajectory, clinching her second title at the Hellas International in 2015. And with the victory, she rose up to 52nd in the world rankings, her highest yet. Still going strong, the 5'9" tall shuttler finally clinched her maiden national championship title earlier this year after finishing runner-up twice before. Yet another milestone for the young shuttler as she topped the country's rankings. With her optimism and fierce determination, Chapman has proved she is here to stay. and having dominated locally, the Coventry-born shuttler has set bigger targets for her future.
To take my games to the next level, I think physically I need to get better. Obviously being quite a tall player, the agility can sometimes be quite difficult. So, you know, a lot of players, a lot of girls will try and get it behind me, get it in front of me, twist and turn me, just because, you know, I've got very long legs and it's a long way down for me. But also to get myself in that top 50, top 40 of the world so then going into the World Championships, I'm in a good position. And long term, we've got the 2018 Commonwealth Games, so I'm looking to keep my #1 spot for England.
Fontaine Chapman has grown by leaps and bounds since her comeback. There's a long way for her to go to fulfill her dreams, but Chapman's rise in the last 2 years is clear indication that she's on the path to bigger accomplishments in the future. After the break, we're in Spain to fill you in on the junior players crowned the best in the world. The Dubai World Superseries Finals takes place in December, and only the top 8 players and pairs in the Destination Dubai rankings will be invited to participate in the prestigious season-ending event. Let's find out how the mixed doubles pairs line up after completing 10 of the 12 MetLife BWF World Superseries tournaments. Maintaining their positions as leaders in the Destination Dubai rankings are Ko Sung-hyun and Kim Ha-na. The Korean pair have continued their good form in the second part of their Super Series campaign, winning in Korea and finishing runners-up in Japan and France. Consolidating their positions in second and third are China's Lu Kai and Hwang Ya-chong, and Denmark's Joachim Fischer-Nielsen and Christina Pedersen respectively, with the latter securing valuable points after winning on home ground at the Yonex Denmark Open. Recent French Open winners Zheng Siwei and Chen Qingchen move up 1 place to 4th. Also climbing up 1 position to 6th and 7th place are Indonesia's Pravin Jordan and Debbie Susanto, and Kenta Kazuno and Ayane Kurihara of Japan respectively. Log on to www.bwfworldsuperseries.com to read all the news and information on the MetLife BWF World Superseries tournaments. The Destination Dubai rankings are updated every Thursday following a Super Series event, so check in on the site to keep up to date on the top 8 players and pairs making their way to the Dubai World Super Series Finals. Spain welcomed young shuttlers from around the globe for the 2016 BWF World Junior Championships in Bilbao. It's the only major tournament that still combines the team and individual competitions. A record 52 countries battled for national glory in the Suhandinata Cup in the first part of the 2-week-long championships. And China clinched the team title for an unprecedented 11th time. This was followed by the eye-level cups last week, where the world's brightest talents contested for individual honors. Having staged the World Championships twice, the Spanish organizers have brought the same energy and big game mentality to the Junior Championships.
Since 2001, I've been coordinating badminton events, and the satisfaction level of our organization is high. That's the feedback we've received, and we're always keen to improve our standards, and what makes us unique is that Spanish people are welcoming people. We are friendly, the climate's good, and all these factors together mean that from our point of view, there's a high level of satisfaction.
The 2001 and 2006 World Championships held in Seville and Madrid had left a lasting legacy. Structures were put in place to develop the sport, and the Spanish National Training Center was established in Madrid. The High Performance Training Center produced the country's world and Olympic champion, Carolina Marin. With staging the World Juniors in Bilbao, Spanish administrators are keen to create a badminton hub in northern Spain.
Por un evento de esta magnitud ya sucedió en Madrid en 2006.
It already happened in Madrid in 2006, and Madrid has developed into a very important focal city for badminton, on a sporting level and on a practice level. It's been key for the growth of the sport since the World Championships. So this type of major badminton event, such as now the World Juniors, creates a tipping point. Because institutions provide backing for the sport, because there's more presence of the sport in the media, and because the infrastructure gets laid and provides the opportunity to expand. From there, opportunities open up for the kids, for the clubs, and for the regional federations as well.
Para los chavales, para los niños, también para los clubes y también para las federaciones territoriales.
China reigned supreme in the team event, but can their young chargers top the class as well in the individual championships? With Chinese players featuring in all 5 disciplines on finals day, the East Asian nation looked poised to make a clean sweep in Bilbao. Mixed doubles started the ball rolling, and in an all-China finale, the East Asian nation had secured top billing. Number 1 seeds He Jiting and Du Yue were up against compatriots Zhou Haodong and Hu Yuxiang. Asia Junior champions He and Du were in cruise control from the start and were never troubled by their opponents. They needed only less than half an hour to clinch their place on top of the winners' podium. The final score 21-13, 21-15. Women's singles was next, and China was keen to reclaim the solo title that has eluded them the past 9 years when Chen Yufei took to the court to face Thailand's Tontowi Chochuwong. Chen did not disappoint as she produced a dominant display against the Thai shuttler. The first game went to Chen, and although Chochuwong fought back in the closing stages of the second, she could not force the match to a decider. After 41 minutes, the East Asian giant was awarded their second title of the day. Next on court was the men's singles event. China's Sun Feixiang hoped to continue his country's dominance as he faced Chico Aura Dwi Wardoyo of Indonesia. The opening game was tightly fought, with Wardoyo staying close throughout. It took a clever play from Sun to break away at 19-all before a wide return from the Indonesian handed the Chinese shuttler the first game. Sun was more in control of the second game. He steered the ship with ease and ended the battle in style. 21-19, 21-12, the final score. Women's doubles took center stage next. China's Du Yue was hoping to grab her second title of the night with partner Xu Yue, and standing in their way were Sayaka Hobara and Nami Matsuyama of Japan. In a match that lasted nearly an hour and a half, it was a showcase of aggressive plays, solid defending, and fine displays of skills. The Japanese pair came out tops in a fiercely fought first game before the Chinese stepped up in the second in an equally close battle. But Hobara and Matsuyama kept their composure. The Japanese pair managed to surge forward in the deciding game to wrestle the crown from the top seeds to become Japan's first ever doubles champions in World Juniors history. 25-23, 19-21, 21-14, the final result. The high tempo continued in the men's doubles when China's Han Chengkai and Zhou Haodong met Korea's Lee Hong-sob and Lim Soo-min. Both sides brought their firepower to the table, but it was the Chinese who prevailed after breaking down Korea's defenses in straight games. After 36 minutes, Han and Zhou earned their spot on top of the champions' podium. With China dominating results in Bilbao, the next generation of Chinese stars reassured their countrymen that badminton is in trustworthy hands. The BWF World Junior Championships moves back to Asia next year. Indonesia will host badminton's finest young stars when the city of Yogyakarta welcomes shuttlers from across the world. Before we go, let's see what the international circuit looks like as we check the Badminton Unlimited calendar. Next week on Badminton Unlimited, the ever-friendly Nozomi Okuhara shares with us her proudest moment in Rio. And we're in the Netherlands to report on the European Para Badminton Championships. See you next week!